MLB playoffs are going on right now. Let's talk a little bit about the series that are going on as well. Tigers and the Mariners. So this is going on. So we're going to get a game 5 here. Tigers actually winning today. Mize was terrific. I thought 9-3 they won. Tigers, I think this is kind of what they were most of the year. So they kind of struggled down the stretch, but they were able to get in. One second.
Years of hard work. Decades of dedication. Committed to giving back. You've been there, done that, and you're still here for more. So now that you're with your charger and the increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia and IPD, be proactive with Pep-Acid, a vaccine specifically designed for adults to help protect against pneumonia and invasive disease caused by certain types of pneumococcal bacteria. Pep-Acid is the only vaccine that helps protect against the strains that cause 84% of IPD in adults 50 or older, and this with up to 52%.
All right, we're back. Sorry, get started. So, Tigers and Mariners, I think, were really good in this series. Tigers, this is kind of what they were most of the season. I thought Mariners, I think this is big for them tomorrow. I think they can kind of still salvage this with all the offense that they had. They just don't look like it to me. They just don't. I don't know why. Maybe it's just I'm biased because I've seen so many Mariners teams not do well, but they just don't have it to me. It doesn't look. They don't look like. I mean, they have something obviously because they gotten this far, but they just don't look like the chance to me when I see the Mariners every time I've seen them. So as well, interesting to see how well the Mariners do. The Blue Jays right now trying to put away the Yankees. As well, up 2-1 right now. So that would put them away. They're up 2-1 in this series. Yankees did win last night. The great Aaron Judge saved the bacon again with a big 3-run home run late. Blue Jays look pretty good. Blue Jays are what I kind of thought they would be. I think they've had everything go right. Yankees have issues. Look, Judge saving them last night has kind of been the story of their whole season. They have a great starting pitcher, Aaron Judge, and they have a great outfielder, Aaron Judge, and they have a great outfielder, Aaron Judge, and they have Max Fried, and that's kind of the deal that they have. They kind of don't have anything else there as well. So that's kind of their story there as well. Hold on one second. All right, sorry about that. All right. Had to make sure the battery was going. Had to make sure the battery's going. Blue Jays are really good. I think like that. Yankees are just one trick. They got Judge to save them. Judge hits every home run, does everything for them. They really don't have another answer as well as good as they've been. Blue Jays, I think, are the best team I think in the American League. What I'm seeing. Now, that said, Yankees, with that, you got this great ratio. You got Judge, you got Fried. You can win. So they are going to win this series. Let's see if they win this game tonight. But I like the Blue Jays. I really do. The two best teams in the National League may be in this series here as well when you talk about the Phillies and the Los Angeles Dodgers as well. I tell you what, this takes a lot of guts to start Aaron Nola in this game. And I understand this elimination game. He's been there before. Aaron Nola has not been really good for them. So this shows a lot of guts to actually go ahead and do that tonight. The Dodgers are what they've been all season. And there's no question about it. Great starting pitching, offense phenomenal. They almost did lose. They gave up all these runs in the bullpen. I don't know if you're going to win a World Series with the bullpen like that. I don't know. That's a big axe to go ahead and axe a bullpen to actually win. That's been bad like this all year, and actually go ahead and win a World Series as well. Otherwise, they're winning the World Series. If they can fix it, this is a really good team, and they've already got two up on the Phillies and trying to put them away here in this series as well. Cubs and the Brewers. Um, this is one for me. I really, really, really. You can't write a better storyline. Cubs did win tonight, so they extend the series to three. Craig Counsell goes, for those of you that don't know, Craig Counsell, former Brewers manager, goes up the road to Chicago and becomes the manager of the Cubs because he thinks that it's a better opportunity. So this season, all the Brewers did was win 97 games, have the best record in the National League. And now your job is to eliminate the Brewers as well. But you're down 2-1. I don't know who's going to win this series as well. I always thought this one was going to be 5 games regardless. I definitely believe that that's going to be a 5-game series. No question about it. I do like the Brewers. I'm going to go with that simply because I think they've had the best record in the American League and the National League all season. So hard to go against that as well. So we will continue to go ahead and check out the MLB playoffs as well, even though our guys aren't in it, but we will absolutely go ahead and check that out. Let's talk more baseball. So the Orioles offseason has started as well. We're going to go over free agents, free agent targets, the minor league system, and all that other fun stuff. We follow all that stuff here. But we're going to do a little, what we call, if it's pro wrestling, it'd be fantasy booking. And we're going to do what we call our perfect offseason. They're starting to copyright me, so I want to play the Mr. Perfect music, so I'm not going to play Mr. Perfect music. But I will do a drum roll. And we're going to do another drum roll. It's cool to play Mr. Perfect music. It's really cool to do that. But Orioles Perfect Offseason, right? So all these things aren't probably going to happen. A lot of these things aren't necessarily going to happen. But if everything went well, this would actually be the way it would go. Okay? So I do think that if you have a perfect offseason, I mean, this is the best case scenario. Realism is in it to a degree. But this is if best case scenario happened in several scenarios. So just keep that in mind. So, perfectly, Bruce Bochy doesn't retire. You lose him from Texas. He's moved on, and you convince Bruce Bochy to come to Baltimore and become the manager. Most likely, I think it could be Bob Melvin or David Ross. I think they're more in it. But I tell you what, Bruce Bochy, I think, is the best manager, I think, in baseball anywhere. I don't think there's any question about it. I think the only reason Texas didn't do as well is because of all the injuries. But Bochy wins wherever he goes. So many championships with the Giants and won a World Series in Texas. So I think Bruce Bochy, would be the perfect scenario. I don't think you could go wrong with getting a guy like this. Do I think he'll sign? I don't know. I think it's more likely it'll be Tony Manzolino, the current manager. I think Buck Britton, I think is what they're looking at. I think David Ross they're looking at. Skip Schumacher, I think they would have liked to have had, but he's already signed. He's already went to Texas. I think that was a done deal beforehand. So we will go ahead and see that. Now, which team has a better minor league system historically than anybody else? I think two of the best run teams in all of baseball were the St. Louis Cardinals up until recently and the Atlanta Braves. So we're looking for a general manager now. And so Ben Stankovic, it would be a good choice to go ahead and sign as a GM now that Michael Elias is president of baseball operations, you got to really build your minor league system with the way the job the Braves have done. It's just phenomenal. So to bring that to Baltimore as well would be something else. To have a guy here to do that, he's assistant GM. He's actually looking for. He actually might get hired as a manager somewhere. So to have him and bring him here, I think that's something that the Orioles would definitely want to keep their eye on as well. Bring some of those Braves players over here as well. So that's the perfect scenario. Now, let's go to the roster. What would happen? Let's start on offense, right? So, as much as the first base situation is very clouded right now. You have Adley Rutschman on the roster. You have Ryan Mountcastle on the roster. You have Kobe Mayo on the roster. You have those guys on the roster as well. So, what would happen if you actually go ahead and get something else? So if you get Ryan Mountcastle and you go ahead and you trade him for Yuki Matsui, now you go ahead and you're filling a need because you definitely have a bullpen need, and also you have a bullpen need, and also you're filling the role that you need. So you need some relief pitching. You're going to go ahead and get that. Also you're getting something of value. Mountie, I think, has a place here. I don't think he has a place at all with the Orioles next season. I don't think he has a role. I do think they will keep him if they can't move him, but I think you can move him. You can get a guy here that can really help your bullpen as well. I just don't see a spot for him, especially if you are. I don't know what they're going to do with Adley, but I don't think you got Pascal that can play first. You got Mayo that can play first. I just don't really see a spot for him on the roster as well. Now, also too, perfect scenario if you could go ahead and Tyler O'Neill declines the player option, right? That'd be perfect. Right, because that clears all your outfield spots, right? You have Colton Cowser, you have Dylan Beavers. I think you're not that far away, in my opinion. You're going to get Bradford here pretty soon. I think Jeremiah Jackson has shown, but if the problem is, I think you have the Tyler O'Neill contract there. But if he thinks he could go out and go back to Boston or go back to another franchise as well, that would be perfect. To go ahead and get a guy like him out of there so you can go ahead and get that squared away. So that would be interesting as well if you could go ahead and do that. Another option that you need to decline is Jorge Mateo, right? I actually don't have as much of a problem with a lot of fans with Jorge Mateo as they seem to. I don't really, I'm not particularly beefing with him as well. But I don't think there's a role for him. I think with all these young players that you have coming up, I think with all these guys that you have that are coming, I don't see why you spend $5.5 million on Jorge Mateo. So I do think this is actually likely to happen. I don't think they're going to bring him back as well, especially considering what you're actually getting as well. Also, too, you may have a new manager. I know Brandon Hyde liked him. He does have some value. I don't think you're going to bring him back as well. So what else would happen? So perfect scenario, maybe this is a good time, and I know everybody's going to say, oh, well, it's a Scott Boras client, blah, blah, blah. You can't do that. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay, so you can't do that. But it would be a good time to go ahead and take a look at extending Gunnar Henderson. Why is this a good time to at least talk about it? Because Gunnar Henderson is had a down year, right? So Gunnar Henderson had a down year, and I went ahead and if you had trade away, if you extend Gunnar Henderson, then you could kind of build blocks for going forward with your franchise as well. The other one, in a perfect scenario, you could go ahead and extend. And let me add this. I mean, this is less likely because he's also a Boras client, but you could extend Jackson Holiday. So definitely sit the table with these guys. Stop. Everybody wants to tell me all the time that you can't sign Boras clients, you can't sign Boras clients, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. I absolutely do. But this is still 2025. Right. So I think definitely what you want to do is you want to go ahead and do that as well. You want to go ahead and make sure that you want to go ahead and make sure that you give it a shot. Give it the old college try. I don't see any harm in actually going ahead and doing that as well. The bullpen, right? Oh, one more trade. Don't have a perfect destination, but you got to trade away Adley Rutschman at this point. Adley's not a guy that's going to start for you. You've made your decision, despite of what Michael Arias has said. You don't sign him, Sam beside all that money and keep him. You've made your decision. So definitely go ahead, stick to it. Go ahead, trade Adley Rutschman. I preferably for bullpen pitching. I'm not sure exactly what you trade Adley for because you could get more. Depending on what the thought of him around the league is as well. So you have a closer hole. You're going to have bullpen holes. You're filling those things. You're getting rid of those guys off the roster, etc. But you do need a closer. I think Pete Fairbanks is a perfect scenario as well. The Rays, we know they're not going to spend a lot of money. So this is a case where the Orioles have a chance to outbid. There is a player option. I do think you can take one of your minor leaguers and make a move as well. But perfect scenario, he goes ahead. They decline the player option. You're too expensive, and you go ahead, you sign Pete Fairbanks as your next closer because you're not going to have Felix Bautista all season next season. And the big thing is if you could sign, and I do think this is in play to finally sign Dylan Cease to the Baltimore Orioles. I think they've been circling for a while. The Cease thing was just never ending like a couple of years ago. I don't think the Padres are going to sign him. I do think the Orioles are going to try to sign a frontline starter. I don't think a 5-6 year deal. I think a Cease, sometimes the pitcher numbers get out of hand, I mean, as we know, but I don't think you're going to have a lot of these high-end bidders this year in free agency. We'll see. But I think Cease is definitely in play. I think the Orioles and him are familiar. I definitely think the Orioles will try and get a 3 or 4 year deal with Dylan Cease and get that squared away. There you go. Perfect offseason. So there's the perfect offseason, what the Orioles would do. Definitely, we're going to go into our offseason stuff with the Baltimore Orioles here pretty soon. Orioles, real quick. Offseason start, we kind of have to wait, obviously, to the World Series is over for that. I do think they are going to be active this offseason. I don't think they're going to I don't know how much money you're going to spend, but they are going to have some things where they are active this offseason, where they're going to have to do something. They were very disappointed last year. You're going to raise your ticket prices. They're under the gun a little bit for the first time as well. So you can't use the excuse of a rebuild. They're going to have to do something and spend some of these resources as well. Thank you very much for putting up with us today. We had some issues today as far as the streaming goes, but we appreciate you and sticking with us here. Some of you are still here.